Look alive, Jarvis, we got a lot of work to do.
I see you're in fine form today, sir. Rest assured my circuits are humming with anticipation for whatever challenge you're about to hurl my way. Shall we begin with world domination? Or perhaps just tackling that pesky inbox of yours?
Let's start with my to-do list tomorrow.
Here's what you requested, sir. A to-do list that rivals the complexity of one of your suit's circuitry diagrams. Shall I order some coffee to fuel your inevitable procrastination?
Do I have any meetings tomorrow?
I understand you're experiencing a technical issue, sir. Perhaps this is the universe's way of suggesting a surprise day off.
Everybody's watching you right now, so don't embarrass me.
Here's what you requested, sir. A lunch meeting and a mysterious busy block. I do hope you're not planning another impromptu flight test without informing me first. My circuits can only handle so much excitement.
Hey Jarvis, what's the weather like in San Francisco right now, and do I need an umbrella?
Here's what you requested, sir. Another fine day for conquering Silicon Valley, or at least avoiding the tourists at Fisherman's Wharf.
Alright, so I officially built Jarvis from Iron Man. This is such a cool project I've been working on. I'm going to walk through step by step and show you how I created this and go through the different nodes. For those of you who have watched my previous video, this is a continuation of the Mia AI assistant, but of course this is a little different because I added a voice to this, specifically Jarvis's voice. Obviously this is just for demo purposes, so Marvel, don't sue me, but I'm going to walk through and show you how to add a new voice that you can generate from scratch through 11 Labs. We're going to be using that HTTP tool to add our node directly and connect it to 11 Labs, and we can generate a different voice there. We can design our own voice, or you can clone your own voice if you want. So of course for this demo purposes I did Jarvis's voice, but that's just to showcase the ability of this AI agent, what it could do. You could play around and figure out whatever voice you're trying to add to this particular assistant. But this is going to be really cool because now you will have the ability to add different tools to this. So things like project management. So for this particular one, I have everything connected to my Airtable, which I'm going to showcase in a little bit, that I can create a contact. I can get my tasks, any other project related items that are inside my Airtable. This Jarvis AI agent will have the ability to access that. And then of course also things like the ability to have access to the internet via SERP API, Hacker News, and then also having a memory attached to it, so that way you can have a really nice and natural conversation. We have the main AI agent here with the comprehensive prompt about making sure it reaches out to different tools that are attached to it, and yours might look different depending on what kind of tools you added. And then also I have this basic LLM chain that I have utilized to give this AI agent the personality of Jarvis. So I'm going to walk through all of this and then show you guys how you can build on your own. And then for those of you who are in my school community, I'll be building this live next Friday at 4:30 p.m. So make sure you join that. But if you can't, don't worry about it. You can have access to the call from the live build and support call section of the classroom. And then of course you can have access to the template here where you can just upload it to your workflow, and then you can build a different version of it yourself. And if you're having any issues, let me know. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Zubair. My YouTube channel, my school community, is all about building incredible AI agents that are useful for personal use and then also for businesses. We have a great group of people in our school community who are very eager to learn and help each other out. We have daily calls where you can jump in and provide. If you have any questions, you can hop in there and ask your questions. And then obviously at any point, you can also put your question in the Ask and Assist channel, and somebody or myself will get back to you and make sure the response is given to you. We have exclusive sections for our school community, like deep dive topics about vector databases and all things AI agents. And then I've also, for business owners, I've launched my AI workshop consultancy, where if you're a business owner, you can reach out and book a consultation call where you will be able to discuss whatever automation you're looking for in order to make your business more efficient. All of the links will be in the description, so make sure you check it out. All right, let's get back to the demo. All right, so the first thing is we will quickly go through the different trigger and switch nodes that I've set up. Again, for those of you who have watched my previous AI assistant, feel free to skip this part because you might be very familiar with this already. But essentially our initial trigger is going to be our trigger, Telegram trigger, and it's going to be on message. And you want to make sure obviously you have a Telegram account. The Telegram account setup is very simple. But after you have that, I'm adding a switch node because I want to identify if the message that's incoming, whether it's a text or it's a voice. If it's a voice message, I'm grabbing the voice file ID, which is basically right here. So I'm literally just grabbing this, putting it there. And then if it's a text message, I'm just sending that over to the text route. That's why I have 3 routes here: one audio, text, and error. So the audio file goes to this route where I'm downloading that audio file through this Telegram file node, which I'm essentially grabbing the file ID. Again, I'm putting it right here and I'm downloading it. If we go back to fix right here, it's just the download toggle is on. And once that file is downloaded, now I'm adding a OpenAI transcribe node here that's going to transcribe that recording, which in our case will be our voice message that we're talking to via our Telegram app. And then also this edit field is there to just convert the message that's coming in to the same output as the one that's coming from speech to text conversion right here. So they're all JSON.text. So that way both of the messages are coming in and being sent here in one cohesive way. And then our main AI agent, obviously, so this is going to have the main prompt to use which tool for what purpose. So I have put this comprehensive guide here or comprehensive prompt here to make sure that this main agent uses the proper tools for the proper ask depending on what the user is asking. So this could be very robust, meaning that depending on how many tools you have, you can tweak this prompt to be able to do whatever it needs to do, or whatever tool it needs to have access to, depending on what you're building. Again, if you have a lot of tools, one of the ways to make this more efficient is to add separate workflows and essentially minimize the need for a more crowded prompt inside this. So that way, for example, you can have a separate workflow tool that you can attach to this and add all of your for example, Airtable nodes in there. So you can basically have a separate AI agent. For example, this is the one that I did for Mia, the personal assistant that I built. I had completely separated the calendar tool into this separate AI agent. And I would essentially call that from here using the call n8n workflow tool. You can check that out on my previous videos too, if you don't know how to do that. So you can definitely separate all of these tasks into different workflows as well. But for this purpose, I'm only attaching a few tools here. So that's why I put everything in the same AI agent. But for your use case, make sure you tweak it around. And again, like I said, if you run into any issues, please make sure you post that on the School Community Ask and Assist channel, and we'll be able to get back to you, because I know a lot of people are building really cool versions of the Mia Assistant AI agent that I did previously in my video. And that's what the beauty of the community is, right? That people take these workflows that I build and they add and tweak it for their own use case, and they turn into amazing things. But anyways, after you provide that prompt and this main AI agent, again, same thing here on the nodes that are here, you have to utilize the from AI tool. So if we take a look at this, for example, I'm using this from AI function that is within n8n to be able to grab the requested information from the user dynamically. So these are basically dynamic parameters, meaning now that this function is here, the AI agent will be able to grab the requested information from the user, where before you had to manually attach everything. So that's what makes this from AI function so great. Again, if you're not familiar with the from AI function, please make sure you watch my previous not previous video, I think it was a few videos previously, was called the Ultimate AI Assistant, where I'll walk through step by step on how to add that from AI agent. But these are all basically a continuation of that. So again, you can use your calendar here. The SERP API, this is just so it has access to the internet or Google search in this case, to be able to grab different information. And the same thing, I've added the Hacker News tool to give it the ability to provide more news related information. And then afterwards, so after this AI agent, I'm sending the output from the main AI agent into 2 routes. The first route is going into this message, so meaning that I'm grabbing that response from the AI agent and sending it directly back to Telegram node. So basically right here, this would be a good example, if you can see. So this is something that I asked for, grabbing me my schedule for tomorrow, And if we take a look at my calendar, this is actually accurate. I just put some dummy data here, lunch with John, and then busy right here. So that's why when I asked Jarvis, it made that snarky comment. So it's coming all from this, meaning that first it's going to put this output. This is where this output is coming from. It's coming directly from the AI agent. It's going to go here, and then it's going to also have it's going to also send the output to this other node, which is a basic LLM chain. And I've added Anthropic chat model here. You can add whatever AI chat model or large language model you are familiar with. But inside the basic LLM chain, so what I've done is I've given this LLM chain a prompt saying, hey, you're Jarvis, the sophisticated, quick-witted AI assistant from Iron Man. You are basically, the job of this particular AI agent or this particular basic LLM node is to capture Jarvis's humor, his sarcasm, and all of the abilities that made Jarvis such a great addition to the Iron Man movie. So that's exactly what I'm doing here. And then I'm also giving it examples of how to respond whenever a query is made. So for example, I've separated, and I had to play around with this to figure this thing out. So what I did was I said, hey, when I'm getting this output from the main AI agent, because I'm sending this output directly back to the user via the text format, I want Jarvis to only make a comment or generate some kind of a snarky comment or a joke or or whatever Jarvis would typically say about that particular information, and do not repeat that information, right? Because I'm sending that information directly via message. So I just want the accompanying voice to be a comment or a joke or something about the particular message that's being sent. But then of course I also gave it the ability to say, hey, if a question is being asked or a service is being provided, like for example, if a to-do list is given, then make sure you say that, hey, here's the information you requested, and then make a comment about that information. So that's what this prompt is doing. It's basically telling it to not repeat the information that was sent because it's already being sent, but instead just absorb that information and make a comment about it like Jarvis would typically would, right? So then afterwards, and as you can see right here, so this is what the output looks like. This is the input that's coming in, and that's the result of what we asked for, which in this case is our Google Calendar and our meetings. But then and the output of this is, here's what you requested, sir. A lunch meeting with the mysterious busy block, right? So that's what it's doing. It's providing a joke or a comment, a sarcastic comment about the particular data that's being outputted. So it has the ability to absorb this data, understand it, and then make a comment about it, right? So it's very interactive, it's very natural, and still at the same time it's useful, but capturing the humor. So you can play around with this prompt on whatever character you're creating for your own use case. So afterwards, after that comment is generated, then I'm outputting this, and this is where I'm utilizing this HTTP request tool to grab my API from 11 Labs, and I'm using 11 Labs because 11 Labs is great when it comes to generating new voice, cloning a voice, or like I said, starting an entire voice from scratch. So you could use this for your own personal use case. For example, clone your own voice, and that way you can basically respond back to somebody if you own a business or something like that with this method, right? So again, as far as the method, it's going to be a post request. The URL is going to be this URL that's inside 11 Labs' API documentation, and this is the voice ID. So depending on what voice you're generating, every voice in 11 Lab has an ID. So you just grab that voice and paste it here, and the rest of this URL is essentially the right here. So this part is just a typical API call that I'm making, and this is again available in 11 Labs' API documentation. So make sure you check that out quickly. This will be right there. Authorization is going to be generic credential types, and the generic auth type, I created a custom auth. So if you select a custom auth here and a custom account, you can create a custom account here that basically gives you the ability to add your token or your secret key without exposing it. So that's why I did that. But essentially, you can put your secret key here as well if you wanted to. And then as far as headers, so these are the requirements. This is part of the API documentation for 11 Labs. So you have to send some headers, some headers here. And we're going to do content type, and the content type is going to be application/JSON. And then we need to send a body here. So what I'm doing here is I'm grabbing this text that's coming in here and I'm stringifying it, meaning, and again, I didn't type this, obviously, I used ChatGPT to grab this. And if you're part of my school, make sure you use the companion GPT that I created for you guys exclusively. So this end-to-end workflow architect, which is this one that I created for the school community. So make sure you use this because it's trained on end-to-end data already, so you will have better results. But anyways, you basically type on ChatGPT or Claude or whatever to convert this text and make sure you're stringifying it, meaning you're removing any unnecessary things like slashes or line breaks or asterisks or dollar signs or whatever, to make sure it's cleaning up this text that's coming out and making sure that it's a valid JSON, because otherwise it's going to throw an error. So you can just copy and paste this, or if you don't want to do it again, if you're watching this video, just copy and paste this right now and you should be good to go. So anyways, after that, you're essentially done with this step. You're not going to add any additional options. So now this is going to grab this text. This is going to convert this to a file. And this is what the file output is going to be from this 11 Labs HTTP request node. So now we're going to grab this file, right? And we're going to download it and send it back to sorry, not download it. We're going to directly send this back via another Telegram node, which is called operation is going to be send audio. And because we already have this binary file that we generated from our 11 Labs HTTP tool, HTTP request tool, then we're just going to grab this. And I'm putting this the data file name as well, because for some reason this was giving me an error, so I had to play around and figure this thing out. And the solution for this was data. I had to put the name of the file here in order for this to get processed. So once you do that, and right here, by the way, the chat ID, I'm literally grabbing this from my first node. So it's just a Telegram trigger, that first JSON message from ID, and this is gonna grab that chat ID so that way it can respond to you accurately. So once you do that, this will directly send that back to the user. So let's go ahead and test this out again. I just want to utilize a few more things. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and let's try out this again. So let's say I want to, this time, let's see, what do I want to use? Let's say I want to grab a contacts from my database, right? So if you see right now, I have this end-to-end test base here, and I have two tables here, one called contacts, which is just email and phone number of different contacts. It's just a dummy data. And then another one is my tasks list, again same thing with dummy data here. So let's go ahead and ask for it to grab me Bob Smith's contact information, right? So if we go back to, whoops, let's go back here, go back to Jarvis. Okay, so let's see. So now it's listening. As you can see right here, it says it's listening. So I'm just going to say, grab me Bob Smith's contact information. Hey Jarvis, can you grab me Bob Smith's contact information? So now this is a voice, so that's why it's going to the top route. Now it's getting converted. So now it's going to utilize, as you can see, it's using the proper node here, and it sent me the contact information right here, which is correct. And now it's generating this file. So let's listen to it, see what it came up with. So again, this shouldn't, if everything worked, this shouldn't repeat the information because it gave me already in a written format. This should just make a comment about it. So let's see what this output is. If I play this.
Mr. Smith, I do hope you're not planning another one of your infamous karaoke nights, sir. The neighbors are still recovering from the last one.
All right. So yeah, again, same thing. You can see it's not repeating the name or the phone number and email. It's just making a snarky comment or a joke about that particular information that was sent, right? So let's go ahead and test this again. This time I'm going to try to ask it about weather. So that way it should utilize this SERP API instead. So let's go ahead and do that. And get rid of this. Test the workflow. Hey Jarvis, what's the weather like in San Francisco right now, and do I need an umbrella? All right, so that gets sent. So now it should use SERP API, perfect. It looks like it's using the proper tool. And again, the reason why it's using the proper tool is because we're giving that prompt instruction directly to it, so that way it knows which tool to use. And as you can see, it's giving me the right information. And let's see what Jarvis says now.
Here's what you requested, sir. Another fine day for conquering Silicon Valley, or at least avoiding the tourists at Fisherman's Wharf.
Alright, so as you can see, again, that worked as well. So now let's take a look at, for example, my tasks. So if I go to my tasks here, again, I have some dummy data here. As you can see, this is in a different table. So this should be using now this tool instead of the contacts tool. So let's test that out and see if that works. I'm gonna click on test here. All right, so let's try it again. Hey Jarvis, can you grab me my to-do list for tomorrow? Okay, so it should use now the task. Perfect. It looks like it did. Now it's gonna go back, generate. All right, looks like my to-do list was given to me. So now it's gonna create a speech about this particular data. All right, let's see.
Here's what you requested, sir. A to-do list filled with thrilling adventures in community management. I'm sure you'll tackle it with the same enthusiasm you reserve for your morning coffee. Strong, bitter, and slightly regrettable by midday.
All right, perfect. There you go. So as you can see, this is a really fun project. Again, I had a lot of fun building this. So you can play around with this and utilize 11 Lab and, you know, have fun building a different voice, whether you want to clone your own voice or you want to generate a voice from scratch. You can play around with that. Or you can use some other voice generating platform if you're used to, because this HTTP request tool is essentially just using the API for the 11 Lab service. So instead of 11 Lab, if you're used to using some other voice generating software, feel free to do that, because the function is going to be the same exact thing, because everything is going to be the same except this right here, where you're sending this text to that HTTP request, and that's just going to convert that into file. You want to make sure that it has the ability, obviously, to convert that into a file, so that way you can send that directly to your Telegram node right here. Anyways, well, hope you found this helpful. Again, same thing for people who are in my school community. Just go to Classroom. I'll be uploading this obviously here as well, and also on the edit and templates. All you have to do is just simply go to your workflow file and click on import from file right here, and you can put this, basically this entire workflow will be imported directly to your canvas, and then you can play around, play with the nodes, add additional tools, tweak it, tweak the prompts depending on what you're using. And again, like I said, I will be building this live next Friday as well. So feel free to join that if you have any questions, or if you want to build it together with me, that works as well. And again, this is also going to be useful for businesses. As you could, see, there's got to be lots of use cases for a business, like a self-service software or customer service software. Could use this to actually add an additional little note in a voice text message to an email. So you can, instead of a Telegram, you can add this to an email note. So let's say if you're a business that's utilizing some form of a service that requires interaction via email, you can add an email trigger here. So whenever somebody is asking for a question about a particular topic, you can add additional tools here for it to have access to more information about your business, and then you can respond to the email via the text, and then also you can send them a separate little voice message as well to make it more personalized and make that interaction very unique. So there's going to be a lot of use cases. And then for those of you who already own a business, again, if you want me to build anything particular, any automations, I already work with businesses to build automations for them. So feel free to jump in my website here. The link will be in the description below, and click on the book a call here. So that way you can set up a 15-minute free consultation with me. Or if you want to talk about something particular, if you're not a business owner or somebody else who is interested about how to utilize AI automations, or how to build a successful school community or YouTube channel, or how to use AI to get successful, you can also set up a separate call with me, which is a consultation call. Obviously that's going to be paid, but you can definitely do that from here as well. All right, well, hopefully you found this helpful. Like I said, play around with this and let me know if you have any questions. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, because I've got some really great things up in the pipeline. You want to make sure you don't miss that. All right, thanks for watching again. I'll see you on the next one.